Well, in terms of statement victories at high pressure points of the season, Pep has just delivered one. Schooling Liam Rosenior, manage your way out of that one, lad. And it was Chelsea's man marking system used against them that was the difference. And the matchups and battles that Rosenior put together in this game was baffling, and Pep used that to his advantage in a devastating way. This attack in the first half is a pure example of that, and I have to say, the thing that's been apparent throughout all of Rosenior's games at Chelsea is there seems to be a great deal of confusion. A lot of players half committing to a press, a lot of players struggling when they need to adapt when the opposition adapt their own attacking structures mid-game. Now, is this down to the consequences of having an extremely young squad, or is it the methods of the coach not getting through, or a little bit of both? Your guess is as good as mine on this one. We know how much Nico O'Reilly loves to move higher and invert into a central attacking position, and to counter this, Andre Santos was tasked with marking him. But the issue comes when City adapt. Palmer's focus is on Bernardo Silva. The problem is, Palmer isn't the most defensively diligent, and Silva is one of the most tactically intelligent players in the entire world. Silva makes his movement off of Palmer, and now Andre Santos starts retreating to make sure Silva isn't getting a run into space for an easy pass in behind. So as a result, Palmer and Santos effectively have swapped markers. Caicedo is also dropping in close to his midfielders, shielding the space in between the two inside of the box. But the problem this now leaves Chelsea is all three midfielders are sagged into their own box, and City now have the ability to occupy zone 14 because of this. The problem is, despite looking like they have the half space protected, the chance doesn't come from zone 14, it comes from deep in the box in the half space. O'Reilly, who is now marked by Cole Palmer, makes a movement off of him, with Palmer not reacting at all. It's far too easy. Caicedo now has to react and come across, cover this space, which leaves the penalty spot area of the box so open. Look at Gusto's reaction, by the way. Even he can't believe it. And believe me, Mallow lad, neither can I. Fofana has to come across. Now Hato is losing a wrestling match to Erling Haaland, so it leaves it open for Semenyo to make an inside movement to the penalty spot, which was one of his trademarks for Bournemouth, with a ridiculous amount of space now to receive a direct pass from the wide area. Look at the space he has. Cherki accompanying him too. How does that happen from Chelsea? The three midfielders just disappeared into thin air in one movement. Now that doesn't end up in a goal, but the issues that Chelsea were causing themselves with their man marking are so clear. Now look at this. This is for the first goal, and this is astonishing. At the far post, you have Gusto and Fofana playing the Hardy Boys, getting Brock Lesnared by Erling Haaland, and I actually couldn't tell you what they're doing at the back stick. Hato covering Cucurella, which means the two players in the centre of the Chelsea box, in a worrying amount of space between the two Chelsea centre-backs are, and I'll come back to Hato in a minute, by the way, because he exemplifies a lot of the Chelsea issues that I've spoken about. Caicedo, who's followed Bernardo Silva into the box, and Andre Santos against O'Reilly, about 6-7 yards out in the box, and the physical mismatch is startling. We've already seen what O'Reilly's intentions are when City have the ball on the right-hand side, and Rosenior decided to put a player on him that O'Reilly can quite literally throw to the side and be allowed to put his header away with complete ease. The cross from Cherki is perfect, and City get their goal. The second and third goal come from pretty much the exact same scenario as each other, just slightly different personnel. The corner for the second goal comes from this scenario as I'm just showing here. Cherki receiving the ball out wide, with Cucurella coming to press him, with Hato pressing the player that's moved out to the right-hand side now, coming away from his centre-back partner, leaving a massive gap in the middle of the defence. Nunes, who's advanced from his deeper right centre-back position to the half space, sees that and quickly accelerates away from his marker Pedro Neto, with Cherki finding his run perfectly. Now Nunes has all the space in the box to play the ball into the danger zone, and I'm not even going to comment on the fact that if Fofana doesn't head the ball away, then it's Andre Santos left trying to King Kong up the Empire State Building that is Erling Haaland. The goal comes from the resulting corner, with Cherki producing some very expected magic. It's also important to mention that the third goal comes from an error from Caicedo giving the ball away in a dangerous area, but the prior actions that led to that mirror the exact issues I was just speaking about. Matheus Nunes on the ball in a lot of space, with Hato coming to engage from centre-back to tackle someone. The voices in his head, maybe. Yet again, a lot of space in between the centre of the pitch as Cucurella is isolated against Semenyo, with Haaland pulling off of Fofana and dragging him away from the centre of the pitch. Semenyo's movement here is exceptional, spinning off the back of Cucurella in the space that Hato has vacated, now in a lot more of an advantageous position, inviting the pass from Nunes into the space created, which Nunes finds excellently. Semenyo now has the ball in a great position to generate a chance. All because Chelsea are so hell-bent on going man-to-man and can't adapt based on the game state or the adaptation of the opposition. This game couldn't have highlighted the difference in experience between Pep and Rosigne any more than it did. Momentum is looking sky blue at the moment, setting up an absolute blockbuster on Sunday. But let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below, guys, in a bit.